Hey, thank you very much for clicking. My name is Rohit. Today we are learning may, might have, and may have. But before we start, I would like to speak to all of you. Have you ever wondered whether to say it may rain tomorrow or it might rain tomorrow? Confusion, right? I may give you some money. I might give you some money. Again, confusion. Let's say I might have helped her or I may have helped her. Again, the confusion. What to use, when to use. All right. I'm sure most of you have come across such problem in the past and you still face the same trouble whether to go for may or might have or may have. So let's find out the solution together once and for all, so there is no need to go through the grammar books and the videos on YouTube just to be sure whether to use may or might. Okay, so let's do it together. But before we start, let me make it easier for you. I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that. May and might, they have a same meaning most of the time. I would say almost all the time. May and might have the same meaning, but there could be one or two chances where there is a little difference. But I'll teach you later in the video. But I would request you to stick around and learn once and for all. Okay, so let's see the first use of may and might. So we use may and might when we are not sure about something. So the example I gave you before, it may rain tomorrow, it might rain tomorrow. I am not sure. I am not 100% sure. I feel it may rain because it looks dark outside, but I can't say for sure, right? So I'm not sure, so I should use may or might. Let's take some examples. Jack may be coming to see us tomorrow. I'm not sure. He might not come. So I would say, to be at the safer side, maybe. So may plus be plus ing shows that he will be coming. To take it, just to give you examples. So Jack may be coming tomorrow. Yeah, okay, but there is, I'm not sure, so I'm using may. Oh dear, it's 10:30. We may be late for the meeting. So you're running for the meeting. You have a very important meeting. Everything is at the stake. You need to prove yourself, but you're on your way and you look at your watch and you say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. It's 10:30. We may be late for the meeting." Why may? Because you still reach on time. There are chances you might reach on time, but you're not sure. So you say, "We may be late for the meeting." Not sure about that. You and your friend are going to the party. Your friend says, "Hey, dude, can we watch a movie or something? Maybe, let's say, stay back home, cook popcorn and watch cartoon." And your friend says, "Why?" And it says, "You know what? I don't like too many people. And yeah, that intimidates me." And he's like, "Hey, listen, I'm not sure, you're not sure how many people are going to be there. So let's go because there may not be many people there." Okay. Next example, I might see you tomorrow. And you're like, "Okay, all right, I'll see you tomorrow too." And you're like, "Hey, listen, I might see you tomorrow. I'm not sure. I might have to go somewhere else, but I'll try. So I might see you because I'm not sure. There are chances." You're looking at the car. It's a beautiful Lamborghini. And you're like, "Hey, the car looks nice." And your friend says, "You know what? But it might be very expensive. But it looks so hot, like for a car." And you're like, "Yeah, you're right. It may be very expensive because I'm not sure because that car looks like a sports car." Okay. Next example. Uh, you go outside. The sky is clear. It's a beautiful blue sky. Sun is shining, and you say, "Hey, you know what? I think we should go for a picnic tomorrow." And like, "Okay, are you sure?" Because yeah, it's quite bright outside, and it might not rain today or tomorrow. And you're like, "Okay, but you can't be 100% sure, right?" There is no prediction, which is like always true. So you say, "Hey, it might not rain today or tomorrow." You and your dad, you are football lovers, but you're discussing about the teams in the World Cup this year. And your dad says, "Hey, what do you think about England, English football team?" And you say, "Hey, Dad, uh, I feel there are chances that they might win the World Cup this year because they have been playing very well for the last few years. But you cannot say that they are going to win because it's not 100%. So you say they might or they may win the World Cup. So you use may and might when you're not sure about something. Number two, we use may to make polite request. You want to request somebody something and you want to sound polite, so you use may. For example, may I borrow the car tomorrow? Or maybe come a bit later tomorrow. So you're asking your dad, I have to go to my friend's birthday party. So may I borrow the car tomorrow, please? Polite request. You're running late, and maybe tomorrow, you have some work. So you call your boss and you say, hey, maybe come a bit later tomorrow. It's a polite request. But now you want to make a very polite request. So I would encourage you to use might instead of may. For example, uh, you are like sitting in a group and they all are your seniors, most experienced. They are talking about something, they are like debating, and you want to jump in, but you don't want to sound rude. So you make a very, very polite request and say, hey, might I ask you a question? Very polite request. Or you can say, might we just interrupt for a moment? Or might I just interrupt for a moment? Or might I ask you a question? So, when you make a polite request, start with may. And when you're making a very polite request, try using might. Number three, we use may. When we say may not for a refusal, it is emphatic. That means clearly. It's a clear cut. That means, so let's say you have a younger brother or a sister, and they say, hey, bro, may I go to the party? Please don't tell the dad. And you're like, hey, you may not go to the party until you finish your homework. So you refuse his request. He's requesting you to allow him to go to the party, and you say you may not go to the party until you finish your homework. So till the time you don't finish your homework, you're not going to the party. Clear. That's it. Second example, you may not borrow the car until you can be more careful with it. So you're asking your dad, I need to go to the picnic, so may I borrow your car? And your dad says, no, you may not borrow my car until you can be more careful with it. So be careful. Be responsible when you're handling my car. I don't want you to drive, just like that there is no tomorrow, okay? You have to be safe. Next example, your little brother say, hey, hey, listen, brother, may I buy a new shoes, please? Can you give me some money? And you're like, hey, you may not buy new shoes unless you finish your assignment. So you're like, clearly, you are not getting shoes if you do not finish your assignment. So that means when you say you may not do it, that means you refuse it clearly. So that's it. You may not get it. No discussion. We use might so as the past tense of may for request. So if I say, may I use your phone? That's a request I'm making at the time, at present. But let's say I made this request yesterday. So you can say, hey, you know what? Rohit asked if he might borrow the car or a cell phone. So for the past, we change may into might to show that the request was made in the past. Next example. They wanted to know if they might come later. Remember? So when they made the request to come later in the past, maybe yesterday, last month, I don't know when. So you don't use may, you use might. So they wanted to know if they might come later. Okay, the final one. Trust me, most of the people have confusion between might have and may have. Like I said, they have the same meaning, but few people believe that instead of using may have, people should use might have to talk about past. But I'll tell you nowadays in American English, people don't just care. They use might have, may have, so everything goes. So I would ask you to use it wherever you want because people don't care anymore. So they are becoming the same now. So let's see. We use may have and might have to show that something has possibly happened now or happened at some time in the past. But like I said, it's might and may. You're still not sure. but you believe that there are chances that it might have happened now or maybe at some time in the past. Let's take the example to have the clarity. You are at the train station. You're there to pick up your cousins, maybe your family members, or someone you know. And you know the train arrives at 10 o'clock. So you're standing there with your friend and you look at your watch and you say, "Hey, dude, it's 10:05." And you say, "Hey, they might have arrived now." I'm sorry, there are two arrived, so one is wrong, only one. So your friend says, "Hey, they might have arrived now." So that means he says, they have already arrived. It has the same meaning, perhaps. Why perhaps? Because you're not sure. So you say, "Hey, perhaps they have already arrived." I'm not sure because the train is supposed to be here at 10. It's 10:05. So they might have arrived now, but you're still not sure. You have to take a look. Second example. You were supposed to pick up your cousins at 10 o'clock from the airport, and you woke up late and you ran without looking at your watch. When you arrived there, it's 5 in the morning. Oh, sorry, 5 in the evening. So you're late by almost 5 hours or 4 hours, I would say. And you're like, "Hey," and your friend says, "Dude, what is wrong with you? We should have been here like 4 hours ago, around 1 o'clock." And he says, "Hey, you know what? They might have arrived hours ago." That means perhaps they arrived hours ago. What are we doing here? I think they might have arrived around 1 o'clock. So, might have and may have you can use when something had just happened. For example, they might have arrived now or already, or they might have arrived hours ago, or maybe 1 month ago, a few hours ago, a few days ago. So, like I said, it's up to you. I would say try sticking to might have, try avoiding may have, but like I said, people are not paying too much attention now, especially in American English. They tend to go from might or may, whatever suits them. So, I hope that everything is clear. You have learned something, and I really believe that you might have learned everything by now, but I'm still not sure. But that's okay. You can always go back to the video. You can watch it like twice and thrice, maybe more, until you have a clarity. And if you have still have doubt, you have comment box. Please comment down below all your doubts. I will answer your question. Don't forget to like, because your like shows that you're liking my work. Share with your friends the video so they can also enjoy it. And if you have any doubt or confusion, you know what to do. And if you have any feedback, please mention in the comment box so I can see that. Right here you will see my logo. So if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe for more video in the future. After subscribing, click on the bell button so you get the notification before everyone else. Okay, for the new video, on the right hand side you'll see the video of my last the link of my last video, so you can also learn. So I will see you in the next video. Till then, have a good time, or I might say I may see you tomorrow, I may see you day after tomorrow, or I might see you next week. I'm not sure. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care.